So a little history of this place. Work on the lock began in March 1829 and was completed March 1832 at a cost of $8,886.88, equivalent to $241,220 in 2001. The lock was made from Seneca Creek Road sandstone boated down the Potomac River from the Seneca Quarry. Construction of the lock house began in November 1829 and was finished April 1830 at the cost of $1,066.25, equivalent to $27,133 in 2001. By June 1832, a 22-mile section of the canal was operating between Georgetown and Lock 23. The Seneca Aqueduct Number 1 was completed April 1832 at a cost of $24,340.25, equivalent to $660,676 in 2001. The next two aqueducts upriver, Number 2 and Number 3, were completed in May 1833 and February 1834. Respectively, it was not until 1833 that the dam at Harper's Ferry was completed and enabled the canal to operate above Lock 23. Raleigh's Lock is unique because of its combination of aqueducts and lift lock. The Seneca Aqueduct carries canal boats over Seneca Creek directly to the lift lock. Some C&O Canal records remain, allowing some of the lock keepers to be identified. Charles H. Shanks was listed as lock keeper on January 1st, 1839. He was still listed as lock keeper on May 31st, 1842. John Wells was lock keeper on May 31st, 1845, and was still lock keeper at the end of 1850. Charles Wood was listed as Lock 24 Tender Criteria 1865. An 1865 map of Montgomery County, Maryland, confirms Woods as the lock keeper by showing Chase Woods, L.K., lock keeper at the point on the canal near Seneca Creek. The map also shows W.J. Dubsley near the creek and canal, and John Dudley and Sons Upton were known to have a lease for a nearby warehouse guaranteed in 1871. Civil War. At the beginning of the American Civil War, Union Army leadership recognized that the Potomac River near Locks 23 and 24 was a possible crossing point for a Confederate invasion that could include Washington. The smallest community of Dunston, less than 4 miles north of Lock 24, became occupied during 1861. 18,000 Union troops, about halfway between Lock 24 and Dunstown. Major General Nielsen P. Banks kept his headquarters at the Samuel Thomas Farm, where the Potomac River could be seen from higher grounds. On June 27, 1863, 5,000 cavalry troops under the command of Confederate General Jeb Stuart crossed the Potomac River near Lock 24. Intent on disturbing Union supply lines, they seized the canal between Locks 23 and 24 and damaged lock gates, drained water from the canals, and burnt canal boats. From there, they advanced to Rockville, Maryland, before rejoining General Robert Lee Army of Northern Virginia in the Battle of Gettysburg. William H. Larry came to America from England around 1849 and found work at the Seneca Quarry. By 1880, he was working on the C&O Canal, as was his older son, John C. Raleigh. John married in 1890 and began working at the same quarry where his father worked years earlier. During 1892, the quarry shut down, but John was able to replace William Benson as lock tender for Lock 24. The family lived in the lock house until 1905, when a younger daughter drowned in the canal after the tragedy. John's wife Roberta and the children moved up the hill at River Road, where John stayed at the lock house. Family members would visit the lock house daily, but at nighttime were always back to safety of the house on the hill. Rallies would sometimes rent an extra lock house rooms to campers. In November, after the canal closed for the season, he would live with the family at the house on the hill until the canal reopened in March. The canal was closed permanently in 1924, but Raleigh continued working near the lock. The 1930 U.S. Census listed him as a canal watchman. The family had a boat rental business that lasted until 1940. At the age of 69, John Raleigh died suddenly at home. Thanks for watching my video. Make sure you hit that subscribe button down below. And also make sure you hit that like button down below. Thanks for watching.